मैडम इस स्टूडेंट्स का अगर कोई आप व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप है तो उसमें आप शेयर कर दीजिए लिंक।
नहीं, मेरे पास तो कोई ऐसे व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप नहीं है। आप यहाँ
स्टूडेंट को फोन कर दीजिए, क्योंकि आई थिंक लिंक का कुछ इशू है, तो फिर स्टूडेंट ज्वाइन नहीं कर।
ठीक है सर, मैं इनकी क्लास की जो सीआर है उनको
स्टूडेंट
बोल
जो
दूँ।
ऑलरेडी क्लास में है इनके पास हो सकता है
ना
अगर
दो ही हैं।
हाँ तो इनको अगर बच्चे दो हैं अगर होगा इनके पास तो वो उनको बोलिए
स्टूडेंट्स
शेयर
को
कर दें।
ठीक है,
तो
मैं वो
आपको
representative से बात
यस सर, मेरे पास मैं करती हूँ।
हाँ जी जी
हाँ
ठीक।
मैडम, ये अदिति खंडेलवाल का नंबर अगर आपके पास है तो उनको आप लिंक शेयर कर दीजिए।
ओके, मेरे पास है नहीं, मैं ठीक है मैं करती हूँ। Aditi, can you tell me your email ID? I'll just send you the link if that's okay.
मैम मैंने लिंक शेयर कर दी है वैसे,
ये वाली कर दिया ना जो अभी वाली आई है?
ग्रुप में कर दी।
ओके ओके, ग्रेट, थैंक यू।
मतलब
Okay, students, just give me a moment. Let me, align everything. There seem to be some technical glitch, right? Just give me a moment. I'll start the class. Okay. Um, Good evening. Good evening, students. And so sorry about the delay. Okay. We'll start now because we've already lost some time, right? So I believe you all can see the PPT. There's no problem in viewing of that. Okay. So let's just recap and have a look about till where we have reached and what else are we supposed to complete. So we have 6 lessons here, right? And right now we are on the third lesson. So I'll be partially completing the third lesson, right? And then if time permits, I shall move on to the lesson 4. Okay. And we will do the introduction for lesson 4, right? And then we will continue the rest in the next class. Okay. So in this class, we will be doing lesson 3 and we'll be covering the 2 important topics, right? Which is about basis domain and target dimension framework, okay, and interpersonal conflict. And what I intend to do now, due to paucity of time, we do not have much time and we have to finish our syllabus. So what I have decided is that after today's class, probably by tomorrow, I will share the notes for the rest of the remaining topics of this chapter, which is intra-group conflict and inter-group conflict, right? All of you can go through that and then maybe let me know in case you have any queries or anything pertaining to this particular chapter, and then we can discuss it in the next class, right? and also we will do an intro, a brief, concise form of lesson 4. And I'll just give you an overview of what it shall be about in lesson 4, and then we'll continue the same in the next class. Okay. So let's start with lesson 3. As you all must remember, we had begun with interpersonal trust of lesson 3, and we had finished the completing interpersonal trust. Right now, we shall focus on the basis, domain, and the target dimensions framework, and also talk about interpersonal conflict. Now, if you guys can recall, we had talked about how interpersonal trust works, right? And what are the different elements of it and how they are all connected to each other, right? So similarly, on the same lines, now we will talk about a few theories or frameworks or tools, you can call them, which again help us in handling and building interpersonal trust, right? So I'm moving to the fourth topic of this lesson, which is about BDT framework, right? Just a moment, let me just reach there. Okay, so this part of the chapter is called Basis, Domain, and Target Dimensions Framework. Please do not get hassled by the long names and the complicated and so many terms. It's a very basic concept. Okay, this is all about your understanding your interpersonal trust, right? So in the first few slides, I have tried to make you understand what exactly are we talking about and what is the meaning of it. This one, I will suggest that maybe you can go through it once you're done with this chapter and have a look. This is sort of like a background reading for you so that you can understand this framework better. Here we have discussed the basis, the different bases of trust, right? And there are different domains of trust and the different target dimensions. This is just a brief synopsis, which you can have a look later, right? And for now, I will just begin talking about the BDT framework, right? So what this is about is basically just a minute. So BDT is just a short form for basis, domain, and target dimension framework. This is basically a tool which is a multifaceted or a multidimensional tool that helps you in understanding interpersonal trust within a group, and also maybe also getting an idea of how to build that trust, right? Now this framework, this BDT framework, it was conceptualized by Mr. Rottenberg way back in 2010, almost more than a decade ago, right? And this talks about how any kind of framework is multidimensional in nature. What he's trying to tell you is that the functioning of the trust is not just on the basis of trust, but there are many more different aspects to it, right? So though there it covers three different parts of it, which is your basis of trust, domains of trust, and your target dimensions of trust. These are just words explaining the concept behind it. So please do not, again, I will say, do not get hassled by the long names and everything else. Right? Chalo, now moving on. What is said here is that this.
Your
Uh,
voice बहुत slow है.
हाँ जी, क्या कह रहे हो आप?
मैम voice बहुत slow आ रही है.
वॉइस स्लो आ रही है. अभी ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am. मैं अब तो voice ही नहीं आ रही है आपकी. No, मैम नहीं आ रही.
Someone could just confirm that now if they can hear me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm much better audible now, I hope. Just give me a thumbs up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, great. Thank you. Chalo. So, here like we said, we are talking about a multi-dimensional construct, which is basically we're talking about the different facets or different parts of a framework where it is said that interpersonal trust. Yes, somebody saying something?
No, ma'am, sorry.
Okay, no problem. Chalo, I'll continue. So basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that it is a multi-dimensional construct, and here it is saying that this framework or this tool works with a lot of parts, right? There are three different parts of it, right? There are three bases of trust, basically meaning what the trust is built on, what is the grounding work of a trust. Then third is your three domains of trust. How this trust works, how this trust is processed, and then how it is further expressed. First, how do you gain that trust? How do you get into the workings of gaining that trust, and then how do you express that trust? Okay, right now you might feel a little confused that okay, what is it talking about? So believe me, as we go further with the help of the examples, this whole concept understanding will get much better. So do not fret, just do not fret already. Okay, and the second part is your two target dimensions of trust. So this is what this facet talks about: whom should we trust and how should we make that trust happen. So basically it means that it is a 3 into 3 into 2 framework, stating that this structure is it is structured, it is analytical in nature, and also it helps in explaining the trust. Basically it's a tool. Okay, this tool was conceptualized by Mr. Rottenberg in 2010. He tried to tell us that interpersonal trust can work in different ways, right? If we if we try to put the whole concept that he's talked about in a diagram, in a figure, this is how it will turn out to be. All he's trying to show you here is that all the different sides of trust have all the different sides of this framework have different aspects, right? And they are all connected in nature, and that is how they help us in building the trust, right? You can understand it through this diagram as well, and I will also try to explain you through different instances and different examples. Okay, so now moving on. First, we were talking about the three bases of trust. These are the foundational elements of the BDT framework, right? These are the core qualities which talk about trust. First is your reliability. Now, here it is talking that any kind of action, if it is consistent in nature and it fulfills the commitment, then it refers to reliability, right? It shows if a person is keeping their promises and meeting others' expectations or not. Reliability also builds predictability. Reliability का मतलब basically हो गया कि भरोसा करना, भरोसेमंद होना, right? Now, for example, as you can see, a project manager commits to delivering a report by Friday and consistently meets deadlines. Over time, team members trust the manager's commitments and plan their tasks accordingly. So what happened was that the project manager had this habit of delivering his reports by every Friday, and he was consistent about meeting the deadlines. So what happened over the due course time was that team members started trusting him because of his actions of commitment and timely delivery of report. तो यहाँ पे इसको लेके भरोसा बन गया. So this was your first basis of trust. Okay, this was the first aspect of trust. अगर आप ये diagram फिर से देख सकते हैं तो यहाँ पे हम जो बात कर रहे हैं reliability सबसे ऊपर आ रहा है. ठीक है. Now next one we will go to the next second one. The second basis of trust is your emotional trust. Now this just talks about your psychological safety and your emotional protection. This is basically, this one talks about how you, when you are open in your communication, when you're open in your giving your feedback, when you're open in every kind of transaction or any kind of communication that you're having, you make sure that you have that emotional trust built for you, right? You try to you try to base your trust on the basis of an emotional connection, right? This basically involves that the you basically rely on a person in the hope that that person will not break your trust or will not ruin it will not exploit your vulnerability. I can help you understand this better through this example, which is given here, that an employee shares concerns about burnout with their supervisor, trusting that the information will not be used against them in performance evaluation. So what is happening here is that any particular employee is trying to share their concern of a work burnout, and they are hoping that because I'm going through something negative which is work related, but then he's also hoping that, okay, although I am in a bad phase right now, but when it comes to considering my performance, it will not be used as a tool, or it will not be used as a axing tool to reduce or lower my performance evaluation, right? Here basically, when one trusts somebody else with their emotional with their feelings, with their emotional any kind of emotional information, they hope that it will not be broken. So this is your second basis of trust, which happens on the basis of the emotional factor, right? Third is your honesty. Now, in this case, how the trust is built, this is built on the basis of a person being truthful and a person having ethical behavior. It is a complete opposite of manipulation and deception. And this kind of trust forms ethical leadership and further credibility, right? For example, a finance executive openly reports a minor accounting error instead of concealing it. So it is reinforcing trust in their integrity. So when a finance executive openly reports that there has been some accounting mishap, so when he's being honest about it, so people start believing him, and people also start valuing his honesty. So this is how the honesty basis of trust works, right? So there were these three aspects of the basis. First was your reliability, then there was your emotional basis of trust, third was your honesty. So this was one side of the framework. Now we will move on to the second side, right, which is about your domain. Chalo, moving on. Does anybody have any query or anything until now? Does anybody want to ask anything? Because ये थोड़ा सा complicated है, and it's not, there are just long words. You do not need to get, घबराने की बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं है. It's very basic, very simple. We just need to apply this tool in any kind of scenario that we get. First, we need to understand how it works, and then we need to apply the same logic. Okay? Anybody wants to say anything? Any of you guys?
No, ma'am.
Okay, chalo, I'll move on then.
तो फ्रेमवर्क
Right.
क्या है या किस वर्क में यूज होते हैं?
ये बेटा ये जैसे हमने इसके पिछले क्लास में पढ़ा था ना, इंटरपर्सनल ट्रस्ट की बात हमने की थी, और उसमें भी हमने देखा था कि इंटरपर्सनल ट्रस्ट कैसे बनता है, अलग अलग उसके एस्पेक्ट्स हमने कंसिडर किए थे. तो ये जो बीडीटी फ्रेमवर्क है, ये एक तरह से आप समझ लो एक थ्योरी है या एक टूल है, ठीक है, जो रॉटनबर्ग ने बनाई थी 2010 में, आज 16 साल पहले. उसने बोला था कि सॉरी, आज से 10 साल 16 साल पहले उसने ये बोला था कि अगर आप ये टूल यूज करते हो अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, इस टूल को समझते हो और अप्लाई करते हो, तो इससे आप इंटरपर्सनल ट्रस्ट बिल्ड कर पाओगे ग्रुप्स के बीच में या पूरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के बीच में. ये एक जरिया है इंटरपर्सनल ट्रस्ट को समझने का, ठीक है. बस ये यही चीज है, बेसिक यही है. बड़े बड़े वर्ड्स देख के हमें घबरा नहीं जाना है कि अच्छा अब ये क्या बात आ गई. बहुत सिंपल है, हम अभी भी इंटरपर्सनल ट्रस्ट की बात कर रहे हैं. अभी हम जो बात कर रहे हैं इसमें हम पहले हमने जनरल एक व्यू पॉइंट समझा था पिछले क्लास में इंटरपर्सनल ट्रस्ट का, उसके अलग अलग फैक्ट्स थे. अब हम यहाँ पे एक थ्योरी या एक टूल लेके उस पर बात कर रहे हैं, ठीक है. ओके, चलो अब हम सेकेंड एस्पेक्ट पे आएंगे, विच इज द डोमेन्स ऑफ ट्रस्ट. यहाँ पे बात हो रही है कि ये जो हम भरोसे वाली चीज कर रहे हैं, तो वो किस तरीके से करते हैं, ठीक है, तरीका क्या है उसको करने का. दिस एक्सप्लेन्स हाउ ट्रस्ट ऑपरेट्स कॉग्निटिवली एंड बिहेवियरली. कॉग्निटिव वर्ड जहां भी आ गया तो इसका मतलब है हमें अपने दिमाग का यूज करना है, दिमाग के यूजेज की बात हो रही है. और बिहेवियर की जब बात आ गई, तो जो हमारे जो भी साइकोलॉजिकल एक्शंस होते हैं, जो भी हमारे फिजिकल एक्शंस होते हैं, जो भी हम सोच के एक्ट करते हैं, हम उसकी बात कर रहे हैं, ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे दो टाइप के, फर्स्ट में दो कैटेगरीज हैं. डोमेन्स ऑफ ट्रस्ट में अगर हो सके तो अभी जैसे मैं आपको समझा दी तो साथ में अगर आपके पास कोई नोटबुक है तो साथ में उसको ना बनाते चलो, एक हेडिंग डाल दो उसकी, सॉरी बीडीटी की हेडिंग डाल दो, उसके नीचे फिर बेसिस लिख दो, उसके नीचे फिर डोमेन लिख दो, उसके नीचे जो अगला है वो लिख दो। तो इससे क्या होगा ना कि आपको थोड़ी क्लैरिटी रह जाएगी, ठीक है, क्लैरिटी रहेगी। ओके, क्योंकि मैंने भी अभी वैसे ही बनाया था तो आसानी से समझ में आ जाता है, ठीक है। अब हम डोमेन्स ऑफ ट्रस्ट की बात करेंगे, जो सेकंड साइड है फ्रेमवर्क का, ठीक है। इसमें ये कह रहे हैं कि ट्रस्ट काम कैसे करता है, ये ट्रस्ट का ऑपरेशनल एस्पेक्ट बताता है, ठीक है। तो पहला वाला है कॉग्निटिव एंड अफेक्टिव डोमेन। नाउ कॉग्निटिव ट्रस्ट में क्या होता है कि हम अपना रैशनल जजमेंट और एविडेंस यूज करके किसी पे भरोसा करते हैं, ठीक है। इफेक्टिव इज समथिंग टू डू विद योर इमोशंस, तो इस केस में हम अपने इमोशंस, अपने फीलिंग्स को यूज करके बिहेव करते हैं और भरोसा करते हैं, ठीक है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल कॉग्निटिव के सेंस में आप समझो, trusting a colleague due to proven expertise. Now that person, you've realized that a particular colleague has good technical skills, any kind of skills. So you start trusting that person, right? And when it comes to the affective domain, this is about trusting a colleague because of strong interpersonal bonding. So here you are believing in somebody. Why? Because you have a good bonding, you have a good professional, or you have a good interpersonal bonding with that person. So that is why you're believing on that person, right? Now moving on to the second one. Second one is your behavior dependent domain. पहले वाला था कि basis, ट्रस्ट हम कैसे किसी पे करना शुरू करते हैं, किस वजह से, क्या हमारी नींव होती है जिससे हमारा ट्रस्ट आगे बिल्ड होता है, वो बेसिस की बात थी। अब अगर हम डोमेन पे जिसकी हम अभी बात कर रहे हैं, उसका मतलब बेसिकली यही है कि हाउ डज द ट्रस्ट वर्क, हाउ डज वन स्टार्ट बिल्डिंग द ट्रस्ट, ठीक है। फर्स्ट वाज योर कॉग्निटिव एंड इफेक्टिव, सेकंड इज योर behavior dependent domain. Now here it is said that any kind of trust building happens through a behavior which has happened over time, a good positive behavior which has happened over a due course of time. So in this case we basically look at the past behavior of the person and then we start building the trust. For example, a team member who repeatedly supports colleagues during tight deadlines becomes perceived as dependable and trustworthy. So if any colleague is there for you in and is there for almost every team member during their work stress, and who's trying to help them fulfill their deadline, so that person because of his past actions is later on perceived as a dependable and trustworthy person, ठीक है। तो उसके past behavior को देख के हमने उस पे भरोसा करना शुरू कर दिया, right? Third one becomes your behavior enacting domain. Here what happens is that one has to actually demonstrate some kind of action so that the trust can be gained, or one can show that yes, I trust you. It's a two-way thing. So basically one has to behave in a certain manner to make sure that he or she can portray that yes, I can be trusted, or maybe portray that yes, I can trust you. Now for example, a leader delegates critical responsibilities, showing trust in employees. So first scenario, what happened was that the leader delegated some critical responsibilities to the employees. So here what was shown that he believes or he trusts his employees, right? And here how did the employees reciprocate to that trust was when they delivered on that responsibility which was given to them. So this happened in a two-way street manner. Here current actions decided and built that trust. Okay, I believe so far it's fine. Chalo, ठीक है. So this was your third domain of trust. This was all about how the trust works. How do you process that trust and how do you express that trust? ठीक है. Now we will move to the third aspect or the third facet of the framework, which is your target dimension of trust. Basically, आपने पहले एक बेसिस बना लिया भरोसे का, then you started building on it through your different domains. उसके बाद थर्ड एस्पेक्ट आता है कि वो ट्रस्ट को फिर अब आप किस तरह से किस डायरेक्शन में ले जाओगे। जैसे अगर आप ये डायग्राम फिर से देखो, यहाँ पे हमने बेसिस की बात की, फिर ऊपर डोमेन्स की बात की, ठीक है। अब हम यहाँ पे जो डायमेंशन है, बेसिकली हम ये बात करेंगे कि जो ट्रस्ट डायरेक्शन है वो कैसे जाता है, किस तरह से उसका झुकाव होता है या किस तरह से उसका मुड़ाव होता है, ठीक है। Okay, so this is about your trust dimensions, target dimensions of trust, basically talking about the direction of trust. This is all about telling you that who is being trusted and till what extent that person can be trusted, right? We can see the extent of it. We can see up till what direction is it going to be, right? Now, again, this has two parts, right? First is your specificity. This talks about, see, either the trust can be very generalized. You can trust a lot of people, or it can be very specific. It can be only towards one particular person. And but again, one has to understand that trust is a very context specific thing. It does not apply universally. It is not applicable for everybody. You have to understand that it is context based. Let's understand this better with an example. Like it's given here, an employee may trust one colleague with confidential data, but not others. So in this case, although you have a lot of colleagues, but one person is only trusting one particular colleague with the data and not with everybody. So this one is about your specificity, right? This is basically about trusting a very one specific person, right? Second is your familiarity. Here, the trust factor runs in the direction of the person that you know well, in the direction of the acquaintance. It refers to the degree of acquaintance or experience. Basically, here we are talking about how we tend to trust people, how we trust people eventually who we know better than the people who we don't know so much better. Much like basically जो जाने पहचाने लोग हैं उन पे हम भरोसा ज्यादा करते हैं as compared to those people जिनको हम नहीं जानते हैं. Now, for example, a manager is more likely to assign critical tasks to long-term team members than to new hires. So I hope इससे आपको समझ में आया हो कि जो ये टारगेट डायमेंशन है, बेसिकली जो हमारा डायरेक्शन जाता है ट्रस्ट का कि हमें किस तरह से करना है, उसमें हम ये दिखा रहे हैं कि एक मैनेजर है वो पुराने एम्प्लॉइज पे ज्यादा भरोसा करेगा एज कम्पेयर टू द न्यूली हायर्ड एम्प्लॉइज, राइट? ठीक है. Now I'll again go back to the example, but what I want is you to just go through this diagram once again so that you can understand. ठीक है. First aspect was this part, the basis of trust, right? And then after that it was the domain of trust. Okay. And then further it was the dimension, which is the target dimension of the trust. ये तीन चीजों को मिला के एक फ्रेमवर्क बना, ठीक है, जिससे हम किसी को जिससे हम जिस इस टूल को हमने तीन अलग एस्पेक्ट से जोड़ा, एंड वी मेड श्योर दैट वी यूज दिस टूल फॉर आवर इंटरपर्सनल ट्रस्ट प्रोसेसिंग इन एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. ओके. I see, if I am not wrong, I don't think you all are fully convinced with what I am trying to say. Okay. But, as we go forward with an example, maybe applying this logic in an example will help us understand it better. Okay. Just give me a couple of minutes. I'll be back in a couple of minutes and then I'll start telling you about the example. Okay. Just give me a couple of minutes, please. Okay. Let's start with an example. Let's try understanding this concept through an example. Okay. Okay. Chalo. Basically, this is sort of an example, and you can also take it as like a case study. We are trying to apply this concept and understand it better. I believe in last class, who was asking me for case studies? Was it Aditi, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Aditi, you can take this instance also as a case study, right? We can understand it through applying the concept that we've just studied. Okay. So this scenario, let's see what it is about. This is about a corporate team conflict and trust breakdown. So there is a consulting firm, okay? And in that consulting firm, a senior consultant fails to deliver the promised inputs. Basically, whatever had been expected of him, he fails to do that. So in this scenario, what happened was that there was reliability issue. तो जो basis बन रहा था trust का, उसमें सबसे पहले भरोसा खत्म हो गया, right? Second scenario क्या हुआ, उस बंदे ने क्या किया? He shared private team concerns externally. So what he did was in this case कि जो इनकी corporate team थी उसमें senior consultant ने जो भी issues थे, could be work related or could be personal that somebody might have confided in him, he shared that information externally. So in this case he broke the second basis of trust also, which was our emotional trust, and he violated that. ठीक है? And in third scenario, what happened was that although he did share all that information, sensitive information, but when he was asked about it, when he was confronted about it, he just vehemently, he just outrightly denied it, despite being proof कि हाँ भाई आपने बाहर जाके information leak की है. Let's say for example कुछ professional, कुछ भी data, let's say कुछ भी हुआ आपने वो leak किया है, but he completely denies it. तो यहाँ पे आपका जो ऑनेस्टी बेसिस था ट्रस्ट का वो भी खत्म हो गया. तो इस केस में जो 3 बेसिस थे भरोसे के वो तीनों टूट गए. ठीक है. अब हम यहाँ पे ये देख सकते हैं कि जो बेसिस इफेक्ट हुए वो रिलायबिलिटी, इमोशनल ट्रस्ट और ऑनेस्टी, ये तीनों इफेक्ट हुए. ठीक है. अब आगे क्या करना है, आगे क्या होगा, अब ये देखते हैं. ठीक है. अब मैं आगे का प्रोसेस क्या है अब समझो इसको. अब इसमें हम नेक्स्ट स्टेप हमारा था, पहले बेसिस हमने कवर किए ट्रस्ट के, उसके बाद अब हम डोमेन्स पे जाएंगे. ठीक है. अब हम पहला कॉग्निटिव पे जाएंगे. ठीक है. टीम लूजेस बिलीफ इन कॉम्पिटेंस. दिमाग से चलता है, टीम काम कर रहा था दिमाग से, बट बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल दीज थ्री थिंग्स हैपनिंग, बिकॉज ऑफ ब्रेकेज ऑफ ऑल दीज थ्री बेसिस ऑफ ट्रस्ट, the team believes stops believing in themselves and they start thinking कि okay, now we cannot be that efficient in our work. ठीक है. बिहेवियर डिपेंडेंट, पहले जो भी किया इनके सीनियर कंसल्टेंट ने, दैट लेड टू रिडक्शन ऑफ ट्रस्ट, देयर वाज अ ट्रस्ट डेफिसिट. ठीक है. एंड देन उसके बाद जो थर्ड डोमेन था उसमें था बिहेवियर इन एक्टिंग. यहाँ पे बेसिकली आपको कुछ ऐसा एक्शन करना था जिससे आप भरोसा दिला सकते थे, बट the senior consultant did not do any such behavior where he could instill that trust back. So because of this the situation got worse, it worsened, it got worse से worst हो गई और बुरी हालत में चली गई. तो इस केस में ये तीन processes हो गए. Now what happens in the third aspect, which is the targeted dimension. ठीक है. अब यहाँ पे specificity की बात करें तो ट्रस्ट ब्रेक्स विद दैट इंडिविजुअल. तो एक पर्टिकुलर इंसान ने ये सब किया, उससे भरोसा टूट गया. ठीक है. सेकेंड इम्पैक्ट क्या हुआ कि ऑल्दो आप उनको बहुत टाइम से जानते थे, बट उसके बावजूद भी जितने भी एक्शन थे, जो कुछ भी था, वो टूट के खत्म हो गया. राइट. अब एक बार आप इसको खुद से भी पढ़ो and try understanding, and please let me know if you have any query or anything. So basically the outcome of it was that in this scenario, in this corporate team conflict, the scenario what happened was that there was a toxic work environment because of one person failing to deliver on all the three bases of trust, right, which led to reduced collaboration. Nobody was in that zone of working, and also there was leadership intervention, right. Whoever was the leader was that, I mean, somebody else had to jump in to solve the situation. So basically whatever the team was working on, that just didn't happen and that just didn't materialize, right. So guys, I'll just give you a few minutes, go through it yourself and let me know if you still understand some part of it, if you're able to get a grip of the framework, this BDT framework that I'm talking about. Okay, I'll just give you a few minutes, just go through this example once again. Okay, guys, were you able to go through it, or would you require more time?
Ma'am, wait for few minutes.
Okay, no problem, please.
मैम डोमेन का बिहेवियर डिपेंडेंट एंड बिहेवियर इन एक्टिविटी एक बार रिपीट कर दीजिए आप.
Okay, okay, 1 minute. ओके, सो बेसिकली इसमें मैं ये बताना चाह रही हूँ कि मैं इस एग्जांपल के कंटेक्स्ट में ही बताती हूँ आपको. इसमें ये कहा जा रहा है कि इन बिहेवियर डिपेंडेंट में क्या हो गया कि हमने इनके जो पास्ट नेगेटिव एक्शंस देखे, उसके वजह से बिहेवियर घट गया. लेकिन थर्ड एस्पेक्ट क्या था, थर्ड पार्ट क्या था कि अगर आप बिहेवियर एंड एक्टिंग करते या आप कोई ऐसा बिहेवियर दिखाते जिससे हमें ये भरोसा होता कि अच्छा यू हैव करेक्टेड योर वेज. क्योंकि अगर आप ऊपर देखो जो एग्जाम्पल इधर जब इनको कन्फ्रंट किया गया, ये वाला अगर आप देखेंगे, 1 मिनट आई जस्ट हाईलाइटेड फॉर यू. ये वाला जो आप देखेंगे, डिनाइज रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी डिस्पाइट एविडेंस. तो यहाँ पे जब इनको कन्फ्रंट किया गया कि आपने कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन, क्रूशियल इन्फॉर्मेशन लीक की है, तो इन्होंने तब मना कर दिया. तब इनके पास मौका था जो इनका बिहेवियर उसको करेक्ट करने का, बट उस सिनेरियो में इन्होंने साफ मना कर दिया. तो जो भी उनका बिहेवियर था वो नेगेटिव साइड में जाता, उन्होंने कुछ पॉजिटिव नहीं दिखाया. तो इस सिचुएशन में क्या हुआ कि पहले के एक्शंस भी खराब थे और अभी जो बिहेवियर इनैक्ट किया या जो अभी की सिचुएशन में बिहेव किया, उससे सिचुएशन और खराब हो गई. ठीक है,
यस मैम.
ओके, ठीक है. और कोई डाउट है?
नो मैम.
ओके, ये फ्रेमवर्क थोड़ा बहुत समझ में आया, या मैं एक आध तरीका और कुछ use करूँ? See, because I just, okay, I'll try to explain this in one more way if you guys can understand. I've just written this down. So basically अगर आप समझो तो जो हम टारगेट डायमेंशन की बात कर रहे हैं वो आपका ट्रस्ट है. ठीक है, आप एक तरीके से किसी पे ट्रस्ट करना चाह रहे हो, आप टारगेट कर रहे हो. उसके बाद फिर क्या होता है, किसी स्पेसिफिक वजह से आप ट्रस्ट करना चाह रहे हो. कोई वजह हो सकती है कि वो ऑनेस्ट है, या वो इंसान रिलायबल है, या कोई इमोशनल कनेक्शन कनेक्शन है, इसलिए आप ट्रस्ट करते हो. ठीक है, और एक स्पेसिफिक एरिया पे ट्रस्ट करना चाहते हो कि अच्छा ये इंसान ऐसा है तो मैं इसको इस चीज के लिए ट्रस्ट कर सकती हूँ. तो अगर हम ये फ्रेमवर्क की बात करें तो दिस इज लाइक an equation for you, like it's a 3 part equation. ये तीनों चीजें मिला के एक फ्रेमवर्क बन रही है, तीनों चीजें एक दूसरे से कनेक्टेड है. ये हो रहा है तो बेसिस बन रहा है, तो टारगेट बन रहा है, टारगेट बन रहा है तो हमारा डोमेन चल रहा है. इस तरह से तीनों चीजें इंटरकनेक्टेड हैं. ये तीनों चीजें साथ साथ चलती हैं, जिसकी वजह से हम जो हमारा इंटरपर्सनल ट्रस्ट है वो हम उसको समझ पाते हैं, उसको इफेक्टिव कर पाते हैं. ओके, So, you know what? By the end of the class, we'll just do one more case study based on the same concept. We'll do and we'll try figuring it out then also later. Is that fine with you all? Anybody wants
Yes,
to?
sir.
Okay. Anybody wants to say something?
नो मैम, मेरे को ये पूछना था, ये 3 to 2 ये डायमेंशन है, इसमें 3 तो बेसिस और 2 तो डोमेन तो है ही नहीं है, 2 वो तो 3 डोमेन्स है।
1 minute यार, वो जो 1 मिनट, अरे गलत खोल, 1 मिनट, जस्ट अ मिनट। 3 into 2 into 3 बोल रहे हो ना? 1 मिनट, ये वाला ना 3 into 3 into 2। तो ये 3 जो ये वाला पहला 3 अगर आप देख रहे हो तो 3 बेसिस ऑफ ट्रस्ट है, ठीक है? ये 3 बेसिस
एक्चुअली मैं थोड़ा गलत लिख रहा है शायद,
कहाँ पे
बुक में
गलत लिख रहा है
3
बेटा?
to 2 लिख रहा है।
1 minute, let me check your book. Could be there might be some error, but 1 minute, just a minute. Actually, I refer other sources also, na. So maybe 1 minute, just a moment. हाँ सॉरी, यहाँ पे ना वो प्रिंटिंग मिस्टेक है, इसको आप ठीक कर लेना, बिकॉज आई यूजुअली रेफर अदर सोर्सेज ऑल्सो, ठीक है, while I make the notes, no? So sometimes I tend to miss out on the book part. Just correct this, okay? There are 3 bases, there are 3 domains. This is your page 48, and there are 2 target dimensions. ठीक है? This is the correct one. Okay? ऊपर भी उन्होंने 3 into 2 into 2 कर दिया, इसको 3 into 3 into 2 करिए, ठीक है? नोट्स में सही है, डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट। हाँ, आई मीन ये पीपीटी में सही है, सो डू नॉट वरी अबाउट दैट, राइट? तो बेसिकली कहने का मतलब है 3 क्या हो गए, 3 बेसिस ऑफ ट्रस्ट हो गए, ठीक है? फिर 3 बेसिस ऑफ डोमेन्स ऑफ ट्रस्ट हो गए, ठीक है? और दूसरा हुआ, जो तीसरा हुआ वो हुआ 2 टारगेट डायमेंशन ऑफ ट्रस्ट। ये तीनों चीजें मिला के आपका बना ये फ्रेमवर्क, ठीक है? बीडीटी फ्रेमवर्क बना, ठीक है, जिसको रॉटनबर्ग ने बोला कि हम इसको आगे चल के अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सेटिंग में यूज कर सकते हैं और हम समझ सकते हैं कि इंटरपर्सनल ट्रस्ट एग्जैक्टली काम कैसे करता है, ठीक है? Okay, so this was our example. Now, in brief, what I'll just tell you is that trust is not just a very single factor. Okay, हमने ये जो concept पढ़ा, इससे हमें ये समझ में आया कि ट्रस्ट समझने के लिए, ट्रस्ट को चलाने के लिए, to make the trust work in our favor, it is not just one factor, single factor. It has a lot of parts. First is your basis, then is your domain, and third is your target. ठीक है? So it works on the basis of all these 3 aspects. ठीक है? एंड ट्रस्ट इज ऑल्सो रेसिप्रोकल। रेसिप्रोकल कब था? जब हमने डोमेन वाली बात की कि आप अगर अपना बिहेवियर ऐसा, अगर कोई आप पे भरोसा कर रहा है तो आप यू विल, हाउ डू यू रिस्पॉन्ड टू दैट बिहेवियर इज व्हेन यू रेसिप्रोकेट एंड यू ऑल्सो शो कि यस आई कैन बी ट्रस्टेड, ठीक है? Contextual, again it is very specific in nature and it varies from situation to situation and the kind of relationship you have with a person. Trust is also dynamic in nature because it keeps on changing. Dynamic basically means something sorry, that is constantly changing. It is in a constant state of change. So trust is also in a way evolving or changing in nature. ठीक है? आज किसी पे भरोसा है बट हो सकता है कल को नहीं हो, बट परसों सामने वाले ने फिर कुछ ऐसी एक्शंस करे कि you may go back to trusting that employee, you may start having faith in the employee and you may allot them more work. So trust is also very dynamic in nature. So in order to understand all that, we need to understand how this framework works and how we can apply it, right? ठीक है, एक ये important concept था. So we are done with our basis, domain and target dimension framework. Now we will move on to interpersonal conflict. ठीक है जी? Now this is something again, trust होता है, अगर हम उस तरह से बात करें जो हमने कहा, पहले हम ट्रस्ट करते हैं लोगों पे, राइट? कई बार बिकॉज ऑफ दैट or maybe some other reason, interpersonal conflicts also happen, right? So now we will focus on the next step, which is यार interpersonal conflict. इसके पहले हम interpersonal trust की बात कर रहे थे कि भरोसा किस तरीके से होता है, कैसे किया जा सकता है, कैसे sustain किया जा सकता है, कैसे समझा जा सकता है trust को. अब हम बात करेंगे कि अगर डिस्पाइट बीइंग ट्रस्ट कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आ जाए, कोई इशू आ जाए, तो उसको कैसे समझा जाएगा या उसको कैसे टैकल किया जाएगा. ठीक है. So basically the interpersonal conflict, it just refers to a process where two or more individuals perceive differences or incompatibility. Conflict मतलब कोई भी disagreement हो गया. It's not exactly a crude form of saying कि लड़ाई हो गई, but it is in a way of saying, a delicate manner of saying that there has been a disagreement, right? So now there can be a difference of opinion or there can be any kind of incompatibility issue. ये दो चीजें आप लोग को समझ में आई व्हेन आई सेड कि हम जब कॉन्फ्लिक्ट की बात कर रहे हैं, व्हेन वी आर डिस्कसिंग कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल यू इज दैट इट कैन हैपन ऑन बिकॉज ऑफ आइदर ऑफ द टू थिंग्स. इफ देयर इज अ डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन और a person is incompatible in nature towards each other. Two individuals are incompatible, right? Now that can happen for what? That can happen because of their values, right? That can happen when they have different opinions. This can also happen when you have a different point of interest, you have a different interest for towards anything. It can happen when you have different needs and also when you have different goals. So when there is a difference of opinion, or when there is a difference of any of these things happening, when something is there which is differing from one person to another, then it can further lead to any kind of disagreement. It can lead to a lot of tension, or it can also lead to a lot of interpersonal struggle. Okay. Interpersonal, I hope you guys understood that when I'm saying the term interpersonal, this is just this basically means happening between two or more than two individuals. ठीक है. I hope so far so good. Okay. चलो मूविंग ऑन. अब हम थोड़ा इसके पहले अच्छी ट्रस्ट के बारे में बात कर ली थी, अब हम थोड़ा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट पे ध्यान देते हैं. ठीक है. So here in this scenario, what we are trying to understand is that what is the nature of interpersonal conflict and what are its different features, right? So first thing, most important, conflict is natural and it is inevitable in nature. It is you cannot do away with it. अगर trust होगा तो conflict भी होगा. रात है तो दिन भी होगी. तो वही फंडे पे conflict भी काम करता है. ठीक है. कब होता है? जब लोगों की पर्सनालिटीज डिफरेंट होती हैं और जब उनके पर्सपेक्टिव चीजों को लेके डिफरेंट होते हैं, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट तभी होता है. And how do you express such conflicts? You can do it either verbally, which is through arguments, or maybe you can just disengage, you can go silent, you can avoid, or start giving a cold shoulder or a cold behavior. But then again, another characteristic of the conflict is that it is not always negative in nature, right? It can also help you in enhancing the understanding and strengthening of relationships if the conflict is handled properly, right? If the conflict is caught at the right time, if it is taken care of at the right time, then you can very easily, turn around the whole negative scenario and make it in your favor, make it work in your favor. Okay. Now, why do these happens? Why do these conflicts happen? First is your personality difference. Now, for example, a person is an introvert and the other one is an extrovert. So they will obviously not be able to work that well together, right? And for example, one person is very flexible in nature, very chill in nature, and the other one is very strict in nature. So again, there will be a conflict, right? For example, I've given a detail-oriented employee clashes with a creative, less structured colleague. So one person who likes focusing on every single minute detail of any work will all sort of, look down upon somebody who is creative in nature, but not that structured or not that organized in nature, right? I'm sure this happens with you all also. You guys have, all three of you have different kind of nature. So the kind of nature that you have, I'm sure you understand that very well. But when you see somebody else with a nature which is opposite of yours, you might start thinking ना, you might start wondering कि यार ये सामने वाला ऐसे कैसे रहता है, ये कैसे रहती है, मतलब इसको, मतलब how that, मतलब I'm sure you must wonder, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. ऐसा तो होता ही होगा ना, when you see somebody who's a little different from you, you start wondering about that, right? You start thinking, okay, how does that person survive, right? So that is the scenario that I'm talking about. So you might also disagree with their ways of life. You might not accept how they do certain things, right? जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल हम ज्यादा दूर क्यों जाए, हम अपने घर की बात अगर करें, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग वन पर्सनल एग्जाम्पल. इफ यू टॉक अबाउट आवर ओन पेरेंट्स, ऑल्दो दे आर आवर ओन पेरेंट्स, दे आर आवर ब्लड रिलेटिव्स, but we still, despite that, we differ from them on certain values and certain opinions, right? जैसे आप में से कोई एग्जांपल दो, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट किस बात पे हो सकता है? जस्ट गिव एनी एग्जांपल. इफ यू टॉक अबाउट आवर पेरेंट्स कॉन्टेक्स्ट, can any of you give me an example where there can be a conflict of opinion or a conflict of values? Can somebody please tell?
मैम लैक ऑफ ट्रस्ट की वजह से भी हो सकता है. टू पीपल्स के बीच में, मतलब अगर ट्रस्ट नहीं होगा तो फिर कन्फ्लिक्ट रेज होगा. और कम्युनिकेशन इश्यूज की वजह से भी हो सकता है, कम्युनिकेशन अच्छा नहीं होगा एक दूसरे के बीच में.
ओके, ये तो आप ठीक है, ये भी करेक्ट है दीदी, बट आई वांटेड टू आस्क कि कोई एक कोई ओपिनियन को लेके कम्युनिकेशन तो चलो वो एक तरीके का प्रोसेस हो गया कि हम बात कम कर रहे हैं तो भरोसा नहीं बन रहा है, राइट? बट कोई ओपिनियन को लेके किसी चीज के बारे में कोई किसी चीज का स्टैंड लेके कि मेरे पेरेंट्स का स्टैंड ये है इस चीज को लेके, बट मेरा स्टैंड तो ऐसा है, एनीथिंग? जो हमने एस्पेक्ट्स की बात की ना, ओपिनियंस, वैल्यूज अलग अलग, उसमें से कोई एस्पेक्ट की अगर बात करें तो जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे आपको दिखाया था 1 मिनट, we talked about ना कि it can be a difference of values, opinions, interests, needs, goals. So considering these, do you think, does anything come to you comes in the mind of you guys कि conflict किस वजह से arise हो सकता है?
मैम आपका क्वेश्चन समझ में नहीं आया.
ओके, मैं अपना क्वेश्चन रिफेस करती हूँ. मैं ये पूछना चाह रही थी कि हम ये समझने की कोशिश करें कि कॉन्फ्लिक्ट क्यों होता है. कोई भी प्रॉब्लम जब तक हम समझेंगे नहीं कि प्रॉब्लम क्या है, हम उसका सोल्यूशन नहीं निकाल सकते हैं. तो पहले आज हम इंटरपर्सनल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट की बात कर रहे हैं. हम देख रहे हैं कि भाई ये जो इंटरपर्सनल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट का प्रॉब्लम है, ये हम समझने की कोशिश करें कि क्यों होता है. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे मैं ये कहना चाह रही हूँ कि जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे आपको लिख के बताया कि किसी के भी दो लोगों के बीच में कोई भी जो आर्ग्यूमेंट है वो डिफरेंस ऑफ वैल्यूज, जैसे चलो मैं एग्जांपल देती हूँ. हम अपने जनरेशन, अपने पेरेंट्स की जनरेशन की बात करें तो हमारा जनरेशन क्या है. अब मैं बहुत जनरलाइज स्टेटमेंट दे रही हूँ, सो प्लीज डू नॉट टेक इट अदरवाइज. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई एम सेइंग कि हम लोगों को जो पर्टिकुलर चलो सेट जनरेशन है, जनरेशन जेन जी है या जो भी जनरेशन, दे लाइक ईटिंग आउटसाइड. ठीक है, बाहर खाना बहुत पसंद है. बाहर के मोमोज हो गए, सोया चाप हो गया, नूडल्स हो गए, पास्ता हो गया, पिज्जा, बर्गर बहुत पसंद है, राइट? Now, in contrast to our eating habits of outside or Gen Z's eating habits of outside, our parents, they like home cooked meal. उनका कहना होता है कि घर पे रहो, घर पे ही खाना बनाओ, जो बनाना है घर पे बनाओ, घर पे खाओ और स्वस्थ रहो. और हमारा होता है कि बाहर दुनिया में चलो कितनी चीजें हैं, चलो सब ट्राई करते हैं. तो एक ये डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन आ गया, डिफरेंस ऑफ वैल्यूज आ गया. हमारी वैल्यू सिस्टम थोड़ी अलग है, बाहर के खाने से कनेक्टेड है, और हमारे पेरेंट्स की एक होम कुक मील से कनेक्टेड है, राइट? तो इसके वजह से होता है कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, राइट और नॉट? सो मैं ये कहना चाह रही हूँ कि किन वजहों के वजह से दो लोगों के बीच में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो सकता है. तो वो इस तरह से एग्जाम्पल देके मैं आपको समझाना चाहती थी कि इन चीजों की वजह से हो सकता है. फोन को लेके हो सकता है, पेरेंट्स का होता है कहना कि पूरे टाइम, हाँ
यस मैम, हम मोबाइल फोन का भी एग्जांपल ले सकते हैं.
एग्जैक्टली, कि पेरेंट्स का है कि कितना फोन चलाते हो, कितना फोन यूज करते हो. हम्म.
यस
और
मैम.
और कोई चीज, दो तो देखो मैंने बहुत ऑब्वियस बता दी, और कौन सी चीज हो सकती है जिसपे हमारा एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आ जाता है पेरेंट्स के साथ? और कोई सोच सकता है कुछ? या अगर कोई प्रोफेशनल एग्जांपल हो, अगर पर्सनल एग्जांपल नहीं कोई, if somebody is not ready to divulge that kind of example, example, it's fine if you have any professional example.
प्रोफेशनल एग्जाम्पल में मतलब अगर हमने वर्क अच्छा नहीं किया तो फिर उसके ऊपर भी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो सकता है, वर्क
ओके
टाइम पर या फिर
ओके चलो ठीक है, इसको इस एंगल से लेते हैं दीदी। लेट्स से आपने एक कोई कंपनी ज्वाइन की एज एन एचआर, but when you joined that organization, you realized or you found out that the HOD is an old school person, right? They're not very young, as maybe probably not even from your generation or not even from the generation next to before yours, but they are sort of on the aging category. They are from much older generation. सो उनके काम करने का तरीका और आपके काम करने के तरीके में डिफरेंस आ जाएगा. That can also lead to conflicts. Maybe they have a different approach towards any kind of HR function that is happening, and you might have a different approach, right? Maybe they are still old school and they'd rather do everything using a pen and paper, and हमारा है कि your generation is that कि हम we are very advanced generation, so we'd rather stick to the phones, not even laptops. जो है हमने phone में टक टक करके ad post कर दी, right? And the older generation that I'm talking about, maybe they are in the field that कि नहीं, आप जो भी कर रहे हो, जितने भी HR फंक्शन परफॉर्म कर रहे हो, उसका सिर्फ सॉफ्ट कॉपी नहीं, एक हार्ड कॉपी भी होना चाहिए. तो इस केस में क्लैश ऑफ ओपिनियंस या क्लैश ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस की वजह से भी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो सकता है. Was this example good enough to understand how conflict works?
yes sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Chalo, moving on now. We will here talk about कि किन किन वजहों से हो सकता है. पहला मैंने बता दिया, पर्सनालिटी डिफरेंसेस. सेकंड, लैक ऑफ ट्रस्ट, राइट, ड्यू टू past negative experiences और perceived dishonesty. तो ये बात हो रही है, एक जनरलाइज बात हो रही है कि somebody has always had negative experiences in the past, so they do not trust, which can again lead to conflict. And also they may have always seen people lying around them, so they have taken a fact for granted that कि भाई सामने वाला जो भी बोलेगा झूठ ही बोलेगा, so I'd rather not trust, and that will again lead to conflict. Now, for example, a team member hesitates to share information due to the fear of misuse. Now, here in this scenario, because of lack of trust, a person does not share the relevant information, thinking that it might be misused in future. So because of that also conflict can happen कि भाई so and so जो भी department है, they are not giving us all the information that we need, so that can lead to conflict. ठीक है. कम्युनिकेशन बैरियर्स, अगर हम ठीक से अपनी बात नहीं कह पाते हैं, ठीक से इंस्ट्रक्शंस नहीं सुन पाते हैं या नहीं दे पाते हैं, या ठीक से अपनी बात को कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर पाते हैं, तो उसके वजह से भी लड़ाई हो सकती है, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो सकता है. नाउ फॉर एग्जांपल हियर, ईमेल टोन मिसअंडरस्टूड एज रूड लीडिंग टू कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, राइट? मे बी अ बॉस meant to send an order, but the way he sent that email, it misconstrued whatever it was trying to convey was taken in a negative manner. So because of that, a communication barrier happened and it led to conflict, right? Incompatible goals and interests. Again, when you have different misaligned goals, or when you have misaligned interest, then again there can be disagreement or conflict. Sales team pushes for quick delivery while production prioritizes quality checks. So in this case, what is happening is that sales team का goal है कि नहीं फटाफट सामान माल बना उसको डिलीवरी के लिए निकाल देना है, बट प्रोडक्शन का कहना है कि नो बॉस, अग्रीड, हमने सामान प्रोड्यूस कर दिया है, बट क्या जल्दी क्या है, बिकॉज हमें अभी क्वालिटी चेक भी करना है. तो इन दोनों के जो इंटरेस्ट हैं, इन दोनों के जो गोल्स हैं, वो साथ में नहीं है, मिसअलाइंड है. इसके वजह से भी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो सकता है. सेल्स टीम कहेगी नहीं मेरी डेडलाइन आ रही है, प्रोडक्शन टीम कहेगा कि तुम्हारी डेडलाइन का मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता, मैं तब तक नहीं सामान रिलीज कर सकता जब तक मैं क्वालिटी चेक ना कर लूं. ठीक है. ऑल्दो दोनों अपनी जगह पे सही हैं, बट right now at this moment their interests are not aligning, तो इसकी वजह से भी conflict हो सकता है. ठीक है. Now, these were the four causes, the four different causes. Now, we'll talk about how there can be a positive effect also of a conflict. So, what happens that when you're in a conflict, your brain goes on an overdrive. You start thinking more than usual. You start wondering, okay, how it happened, why it happened. It sort of encourages your critical thinking and innovation. You try to look for answers. You try to look for solutions so that you can resolve this conflict. Okay, and it also makes your decision making through different viewpoints. It improves how you see a certain scenario, how you see a problem, and how you can improve that. Okay. And when a conflict is resolved, so but obvious, the relationships get strengthened and they get better in nature. Agreed? Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you guys also understand? I mean, do you guys believe in this fact that if a conflict is resolved on time, it can help in our favor, in one's own favor, right?
Yes, मैम बट नेगेटिव भी तो है इसका.
नेगेटिव भी है. देखिए, नेगेटिव वो तब तक ही होगा अगर हम उसको एज इट इज छोड़ दें. अगर हम अपने एग्जाम्पल की बात करें, वेयर दैट सीनियर कंसल्टेंट, व्हेन ही एक्चुअली लीक्ड इन्फॉर्मेशन, राइट, व्हेन ही लीक्ड sensitive information, and there was proof also. Let's say somebody recorded his conversation with the outsider that he was talking about, and when he was confronted with that information, conflict शुरू हो गया था. बट इसने तब भी मुंह पे मना किया कि नहीं बॉस, मैंने ऐसा कुछ नहीं किया है, मैंने ऐसा कहीं भी डिस्पाइट हैविंग प्रूफ, सॉलिड प्रूफ, ही डिनाइड एनी काइंड ऑफ एलिगेशंस. तो उस केस में क्या हो गया? कॉन्फ्लिक्ट अराइज हो गया. ठीक है, ये नेगेटिव होता चला गया. अगर उसने ओन अप कर लिया होता, उसने एक्सेप्ट कर ली होती अपनी गलती, तो वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट अराइज होने से बच जाता. इवेंचुअली सीनियर कंसल्टेंट और उसकी पूरी टीम का रिलेशनशिप शायद बेटर हो जाता. मतलब उस कंटेक्स्ट में अगर आप इसको समझो तो कहने का मतलब है, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट वैसे एक नेगेटिव वर्ड है. इट हैज a lot of negative aspects, it has negative connotations, but if we handle it correctly, if we handle it in the right way, then it can also lead to making things work in your favor. Okay. um just a moment. Now, this is one more concept that has come up in interpersonal conflict. Interpersonal trust पे हमने framework में बात की. अब यहाँ पे भी हम एक theory पे बात करेंगे. Just have a read, है ना? And give me a few minutes. I'll just put my laptop on charge. ठीक है, and I'll come back in few minutes. Just have a read, please.
Yes.
Okay, sorry for so many frequent wakes. I believe the beginning wasn't that good, so it's not even, that's why there is some hiccup or the other. Right. So now we will talk about one more first concept where we will understand in terms of interpersonal conflict, that what are the different aspects or elements of interpersonal conflict as per Can and Abigail. These were two researchers, you can say, who back in 2014 they said that why or how does why basically why do interpersonal conflicts happen. So they tried to find a reasoning for it. So they were basically in the mood that कि हम पहले problem को तो figure out कर लें फिर हम solution निकालेंगे. तो as per them there were 4 such elements of the conflict, right? So and also one more thing students, बार बार मैं interpersonally में बोलूंगी बहुत लंबा word हो जाता है. So when I mention the word conflict, that means basically I'm talking about interpersonal conflict. ठीक है? I hope that is okay with all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Chali. So basically, Can and Abigail said that there are 4 reasons why conflicts happen. इसके पहले जो हमने reasons पढ़े थे, वो अलग थे. ये भी जो reasons थे, they are sort of overlapping in nature, but this is an established theory. This is an established study. So we have to listen to this one and try to use it. Okay. So there are 4 of it. First is the interdependence. Second is the incompatibility, which again gets common with your general theory, general cause of conflict. Third is your effect on relationship, and fourth is your urgency. Right. So let's start with interdependence. Here, what they are trying to say is that conflict occurs when individuals are connected and depend on each other. For example, team members working on the same project must coordinate tasks. So because these team members are working on the same project and they are sort of connected to each other because of that project and they need to coordinate that task. So because by the virtue of that, because of that reason, there can be conflict. Because of this interdependence, because of a project, because of a single project happening, and because of that them being connected to each other, conflict हो सकता है. ठीक है. इनकम्पैटिबिलिटी, ये तो अभी तक आप समझ गए होंगे. मिसअलाइन गोल्स हो, कोई भी आउटकम हो, जो भी हो, मेथड्स हो, अगर मिसअलाइंड है, अलाइन नहीं है, तो भी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो सकता है. Now, for example, one employee prefers speed, another prefers accuracy. I'm sure you will resonate with this example that there are many employees who like to work fast. They'd rather finish their work fast and go out for a chai break rather than sit and complete the work and make sure it is correct in nature. Right? I'm sure this happens with students also. Some are there who just want to finish that work, चाहे कितनी भी गलतियां हो, वो तो चलो मैम चेक करेंगे तो बता देंगे. But there are some who like to keep their work accurate and correct, so they take time in that. Now, when this happens, when this kind of incompatibility misalignment happens, then also there can be conflict. One, for example, एक एग्जांपल और लेते हैं जिसमें जो बॉस है he prefers accuracy in work, the supervisor, but the subordinate, he believes in just completing his work for the sake of it at a good speed. So what the subordinate does is that he or she finishes the work. Okay, he or she is able to give the work on time, but when the work reaches, or when the report or any content for that matter, professional content reaches the supervisor, him or her preferring a certain level of accuracy, when he sees so many errors, then the conflict happens, right? So this was our second cause as per Can and Abigail. Okay. And also effect on relationship. Third is your effect on relationship. Conflicts also arises because of emotional quality and relationship quality. For example, unresolved issues lead to resentment and reduce collaboration. जब आप already किसी से खुन्नस खा के बैठे हो, किसी से आप नाराज होके बैठे हो, तो एक conflict, तो एक underlying conflict is already there. It's already present there. So because of that, a conflict can evolve, or it can grow further, right? So kind of a relationship that you already have, or the kind of emotional connection, negative emotional connection that you already have with, let's say, any colleague. If you have HR, and sometimes HR and accounts have this tussle of getting the payment released, salary and all that, although HR processes everything, but then when it goes to the accounts, they have this habit of taking their own sweet time, but the whole blame falls on the HR only. The HR must have delayed the disbursement of salary. So in this scenario, you sort of tend to develop a love-hate relationship with the accounts. तो उनके साथ फिर काम करना मुश्किल हो जाता है. So the kind of relationship which you have also has an effect on the conflict. Okay, is also one of the reasons why conflicts arise. Right? Fourth and last one is your urgency. The need to resolve conflict quickly can also, in order to avoid escalation. So क्या होता है, कई बार हम जल्दी में भी हम चाहते हैं कि कोई चीज फटाफट ठीक हो जाए या फटाफट उसको रिजॉल्व करो और आगे बढ़ो. उस केस में भी मतलब कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो सकते हैं. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ड्यूरिंग प्रोजेक्ट डेडलाइन requires immediate resolution. So when you have a conflict which is happening during the you reach the brink of the project deadline, that time when you have any kind of conflict, you need to work fast on it. So because of that also there can be conflicts also, because everybody is focusing on reaching that deadline. Nobody is caring ki, okay, the kind of what is the quality of work that has been done. So in that case also conflicts can happen. ठीक है? I hope it was. अरे 1 minute. अदिति, आपको आज सब समझ में आ रहा है? आप सब में थम्स अप दे रहे हो, आई बिलीव. आज का टॉपिक लगता है बहुत समझने वाला टॉपिक है, राइट? चलो ठीक है. Now moving on, there is a second theory. Okay, this is basically again a tool. It's a model to understand how one can manage the conflict. इसके पहले था कि क्यों हो रहा था, क्या एस्पेक्ट्स थे, कैसे था. ये जो नेक्स्ट थ्योरी है मिस्टर रहीम ने बनाई थी 1983 में. इट्स कॉल्ड रहीम मॉडल, और यू कैन ऑल्सो कॉल इट एज रहीम ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट इन्वेंटरी. राइट? In this case, we talk about how to manage conflicts. Okay, they are talking about different styles in which one can manage conflict. ठीक है? इसके बारे में हम इसके पहले जो हमने थ्योरी यूज की उसको यूज किया ये समझने के लिए कि क्यों होता है, कैसे होता है कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. यहाँ पे अब हम मिस्टर रहीम ने बोला हमें कि चलो नाउ आई विल टेल यू हाउ टू हैंडल दीज कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स और हाउ टू मैनेज देम. राइट? So this is your next theory. This one's also important, right? Now basically it's again like your BDT. It's also a two-dimensional model. Okay, it's not 3D. Luckily, there are just two aspects of it. So here we will talk about how one manages a conflict, the different kinds of conflicts, that the different ways in which the conflict can be managed. Now here he is saying that there are two dimensions, right? This model has two dimensions. I'll show you the diagram also. Here is your diagram. Right here he is saying that there are two dimensions. First is called your the concern for self. First is your this dimension. Second is your concerns for others. That's your second dimension. Now when we mix up when we make a permutation combination of all these two dimensions in different degrees, तो it gives away 5 conflict management styles. ठीक है? और वो होते हैं ये 5. ठीक है? मतलब ये एक मैट्रिक्स बन गया जिसमें हम कह रहे हैं पहला ऊपर के एक्सेस में लिखा है कि देयर इज कंसर्न फॉर सेल्फ. लोअर एक्सेस में लिखा है यहाँ पे कि देयर इज कंसर्न फॉर अदर्स. बट उसके बाद हमने ये दिखा दिया कि यहाँ पे उसकी जो डिग्री है, डिग्री ऑफ कंसर्न हाई है. इधर कंसर्न फॉर सेल्फ के मामले में इधर लेफ्ट में हाई है, राइट में लो है. वहीं लेफ्ट एक्सेस पे जो यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है कंसर्न फॉर अदर्स में ऊपर हाई है, नीचे लो है. ठीक है? आप इसको भी मे बी यू माइट गेट कंफ्यूज, बट I'll tell you, I'll explain better. Okay, let me just note down something here while I explain it so that you guys can understand it better. Now when I'm talking about integrating style, they've come up with 5 different styles of conflict management, right? And they are saying that these 5 different styles are all happening on the basis of these two dimensions, which is the concern for self and the concern for others. Okay, so when we talk about integrating style, we are here, if you could look at the diagram, यहाँ पे हम कह रहे हैं कि in this style in this style there is concern for self also and there is concern for others as well. ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि जो conflict management है वो easy रहता है because the individual or the the set of people, they're concerned about themselves also, and they're concerned about the other person also. Second one is your obliging style. यहाँ पे कह रहे हैं कि हमने जो दो एस्पेक्ट्स है उसमें हमने सेल्फ का जो कंसर्न है हाई पे रखा है, और दूसरे का हमने सॉरी सेल्फ का हमने लो पे रखा है और दूसरे का हमने हाई पे रखा है, जैसे यहाँ पे आ रहा है। सेल्फ के मामले में हम अपने बारे में इतना नहीं सोच रहे, बट औरों के बारे में हम बहुत सारा सोच रहे हैं, ठीक है, वो आपका ऑब्लाइजिंग हो गया। थर्ड इज योर डोमिनेटिंग। डोमिनेटिंग में वी आर जस्ट कंसर्न्ड अबाउट ourselves as compared to what the others are feeling. Avoiding में क्या है, ना हमें अपनी पड़ी है ना हमें सामने वाली की पड़ी है, so we really don't care कि conflict resolve होता है या नहीं होता है, या मैनेज होता है या नहीं होता है। कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग में ये कहा जाता है कि इट्स अ मिक्स ऑफ बोथ हाई एंड लो, इट्स अ मिक्स ऑफ मॉडरेट कंसर्न फॉर सेल्फ एज वेल एज अ मॉडरेट कंसर्न फॉर अदर्स, ठीक है। अब मैं एक एक करके आपको ये समझाने की कोशिश करती हूँ थ्रू examples also, and I'm hoping that you can understand this concept. Okay, any queries until now? Anything you want to add on, or you want to ask anything? Okay, since there is so much of silence, so I'm hoping that everybody is getting understanding. Chalo, we'll now talk about every conflict style one after another, right? First is your integrating style. यहाँ पे क्या कहा जा रहा है कि there is very high self concern, right? यहाँ पे चाहता है बंदा कि जो conflict है, जो भी conflict arise हुआ है वो इस तरह से manage हो कि मैं भी जीत जाऊं, सामने वाला भी जीत जाए. So there is high self concern, there is high concern for others as well. So in this scenario, one is saying that they are opting for a collaborative approach. They want कि मैं भी जीत जाऊं, सामने वाला भी जीत जाए, right? This happens. How does this happen? How does it work? When there is open communication, when people are ready to talk, then only I can win and the other party can also win. When they are keen on problem solving, जो भी issue है उसको solve करना चाहते हैं तभी हो पाएगा, and there has to be a certain level of mutual understanding, right? Because until unless you're not ready to understand the problem one is facing, you will not be able to resolve any kind of conflict, right? This kind of situation style is best suited for complex issues requiring long-term solutions. So in this scenario, this style only works when there are some kind of complex situation, right? And you need to look for a long-term solution, not a short-term. Now, for example, here for example, it's given that there are two department heads who jointly redesign the workflow to meet both efficiency and quality goals. So here they're from two different functions, they're from two different departments, the heads, and they work together and they make sure that we make a workflow structure in such a manner कि efficiency भी reach हो जाए और जो goal है उसकी quality भी reach हो जाए, ठीक है। तो ये पहला style है, which is a integrating style, right? Second comes your obliging style. यहाँ पे है कि the concern is very low for oneself and it is very high for the others. यहाँ पे एक accommodating approach होता है कि चलो हम कोई बात नहीं, हमारा problem, हमारा issue resolve होना हो, सामने वाले का हो जाना चाहिए. So the individual sacrifices their own interest for the others. So this is good when the issue is not that big a deal and you want to focus more on maintaining the relationship, right? For example, an employee agrees to adjust work schedule to support a colleague during a critical phase. Usually what happens is that people do not want to make any kind of modification to their work schedule, so they'd rather stick to however they are working and really don't care about if the colleague is having trouble or not. But in this scenario, the employee tries to modify or adjust their work schedule so that he or she can sort of support their colleague, right? So here, that colleague is thinking that, okay, maybe I might have to have some problem, maybe I might have to take some trouble and adjust and change my work schedule, but I want to make sure that my colleague doesn't have to go through a problem, right? As the name suggests, this one becomes the obliging style. Oblige मतलब किसी को great ये feel कराना कि नहीं, आपकी value ज़्यादा है हमसे, ठीक है? That is the basic meaning of obliging someone, giving somebody more value than you are giving yourself. Okay. Now third becomes your dominating style. Now this is the quite complete opposite of your obliging style. Here we are saying that we have very high concern about ourselves, right? And we have very low concern about the सामने वाला party. We do not care how they resolve them, how the matter is resolved. What we want is that our terms and conditions should be met. So in this scenario, it is very competitive and assertive in nature, and the main focus is on winning the argument. They do not believe in a win-win situation. They do not believe a situation where they lose a little and the other party wins it. No, this is like मैं जीतूंगा, मैं ही मेरा प्रॉब्लम पहले देखा जाएगा, मैं उसमें आगे आऊंगा, राइट? ये बेस्ट कब होता है? when you have to handle any emergency situation or when you have to take quick decisions, right? A manager enforces a decision during crisis without team consultation. Now this is the best example of dominating style of handling conflict. मैनेजर को क्राइसिस के टाइम पे कुछ डिसाइड करना पड़ा, उसने बिना अपने टीम से बात किए हुए अपने हिसाब से उसको जो लगा उसने पूरी टीम के लिए डिसाइड कर दिया, राइट? तो इसमें क्या था कि हाईएस्ट कंसर्न अपने लिए था, बाकियों को उस डिसीजन से क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है, ही डिडंट केयर अबाउट दैट. सो मिस्टर रहीम बेसिकली सेड दैट अगर आप ये 5 तरीके फिगर आउट कर लेते हो तो आप इनको अलग अलग सिनेरियो में यूज करके अप्लाई कर सकते हो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रिजॉल्व करने के लिए या हैंडल करने के लिए, ठीक है? नाउ द फोर्थ वन इज अवॉइडिंग स्टाइल. This is also one, hinging on two extremes of the low self-concern and low concern for others. So here what happens that both the parties believe that we really do not want to get this conflict resolved and they are sort of avoiding in nature, right? They disengage from the conflict, they disengage from the dialogue, they walk out of the conflict that is happening and they just leave it and it just reaches a state of deadlock. ठीक है ना, यहाँ से कोई solution आ रहा है ना यहाँ से कोई solution है, एक तरीके की cold war हो गई है. Neither party's concerns are addressed, neither of them intend to resolve that issue, right? So this can happen when there are any trivial issues or when there are very high emotions running. तो ये कब कर सकते हैं हम, ये स्टाइल कब यूज कर सकते हैं? when there it's a very small issue. Trivial means any छोटा मोटा, in something which does not have much of a consequence, any issue which is inconsequential in nature. So in that case one can use this kind of style where you just walk away from the problem and you believe that once you ignore it, it will disappear on its own. And second scenario can be when somebody is very agitated or very hyper. So in that scenario also it's better to avoid the conflict and take this kind of step. For example, two colleagues ignore a minor disagreement to maintain temporary harmony. So in this scenario, they had, again, there must have been some clash of conflict or any clash of, clash of anything, small, maybe minor thing. They agreed कि चलो उसने कुछ मुझे बोल दिया, मैंने उसको बोल दिया, कोई बात नहीं, आगे बढ़ते हैं, अपने काम पे फोकस करते हैं, because हमारा मेन गोल अभी एंड गोल क्या है, ये प्रोजेक्ट डिलीवर करना है इस डेडलाइन तक, ठीक है? Fifth one is your compromising style. Here, Mr. Rahim has stated that if you're moderately concerned about yourself, if you're also moderately concerned about others, so basically if you're ready to give up on something and if you're ready to reach a middle ground, then one can use this style. Now, this is best used for time-bound situations that need a quick resolution. कई बार कुछ चीजें कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स टाइम बाउंड होती है, अगर उसको रहते टाइम में आपने रिजॉल्व नहीं किया then it can escalate and make things worse for both the parties. So in this scenario it is better for both the parties, because as the name suggests, it's better for both the parties to compromise and walk to a middle ground where both the parties leave out something and accept some part of the decision, right? For example, two teams agree on a deadline that partially satisfies both sides. तो टीम ने एक ऐसी डेडलाइन पकड़ी जहां पे दोनों का ही काम हो रहा है और नहीं भी हो रहा है. सो दिस बिकम्स योर फिफ्थ स्टाइल, विच इज योर कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग स्टाइल, राइट? मैंने यहाँ पे टेबल बना दिया है जस्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड इट बेटर. अगर आपको डायग्राम से नहीं समझ में आए, so you can use this table as well to remember it and use it when you have to write your answers, right? Now this is one more example जहाँ पे हम ये conflict use कर सकते हैं. But before that, just please let me know that were you able to understand what I was trying to tell here? I hope this was much easier to understand this theory. It was not that complicated, very basic. It goes by the term that it is saying, so it is not that difficult to understand it. Is that so, guys?
Yes, ma'am, clear है.
Okay, great. Acha, okay, thank you, Ashit. So also, you know what I'll do? I just remembered something. I'll try to abhi batate batate it just struck me. I don't know how. I'm still stuck on that our framework theory. You know, I'll try to, make a connection. मैं एक पेज जो है हमारी जो CBD थ्योरी है, CBD वाली मैं सॉरी BDT वाली थ्योरी जो उसमें मैं आई ट्राई कि मैं वो तीनों जो डायमेंशंस है उनका एक कनेक्शन बना के एक पेज उसका भी डाल दूं ताकि आपको समझ में आए, because I have this feeling that you guys are still not completely convinced by that theory, although we did an example. So what I'll do is that I'll try to show a connection between all the three dimensional aspects, which is your basis, domain, and your target direction. I'll try to connect all of them and maybe through an example try to explain you how it works. I'll give you another example, right? I hope that works for you all, because that was something, I mean, it's still hovering in my head and I want to change, make it better so that you guys understand. Okay, just give me 1 minute. I'll just note it down. Okay, I'll also add that page, right? Now, in the meanwhile, let's discuss this example. Again, this example can be, sort of treated as your case study. You can take it as a small case study, which through which we are trying to understand the concept of the conflict concept. ठीक है? Okay, Aditi?
Yes, ma'am.
चलो अब यहाँ पे हम समझते हैं. So the scenario is such that there is a conflict between your marketing and operations team. ठीक है? Marketing is saying that we want a very rapid, fast campaign launch. We just want it to happen overnight. And the operations is saying that, boss, we need some time to arrange everything to make that launch happen. Now, अब यहाँ पे क्या style apply हो रहा है? Mr. रहीम का जो मॉडल था वहां से इसमें क्या स्टाइल्स अप्लाई हो रहे हैं. ठीक है, अब ट्राई करो इसको फिगर आउट करने का. पहला तो डोमिनेटिंग है, मार्केटिंग को अपनी पड़ी है सिर्फ. ठीक है कि नहीं बॉस, मेरा फायदा पहले होना चाहिए, बाकियों का मैं बाद में देखूंगा. सेकंड है अवॉइडिंग. ठीक है, यहाँ पे डिस्कशन डिले हो रहा है. ठीक है, वो कह रहे हैं कि नहीं हमें और टाइम चाहिए एंड दे आर नॉट एंगेजिंग मच. ठीक है, थर्ड इज योर ओब्लाइजिंग. ठीक है, यू कैन से इन अ वे दैट कि ऑपरेशन सिंह की चलो ठीक है जो करना है जैसे कर लो. फोर्थ इज योर कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग. हम कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग में ये कर सकते हैं कि एक मिडिल ग्राउंड लेके एक टाइम लेके डिसाइड कर लें कि उसमें मार्केटिंग का काम भी हो जाए और ऑपरेशंस का काम भी हो जाए. ठीक है, एंड बेसिकली बेस्ट क्या हो सकता है, बेस्ट सोल्यूशन टू दिस current scenario, the best solution to this conflict is that joint planning ensures that both speed and feasibility are met. तो कहने का मतलब है कि मार्केटिंग को चाहिए कि जल्दी जल्दी कैंपेन लॉन्च हो जाए. ठीक है, वो भी हो जाए. ठीक है, एंड दूसरा है कि फिजिबिलिटी, ऑपरेशंस के लिए जो भी लॉजिस्टिक अरेंजमेंट करने हैं वो उनके लिए इजीली अवेलेबल हो जाए. सो कहने का मतलब है कि इंटीग्रेटिंग these two the different leads, it can give way to sustainable and effective resolution or solution. समझ में आया? हमने इसमें अलग अलग जो एप्लीकेशन स्टाइल्स थे वो लगाए. जैसे पहला डोमिनेटिंग वाला लगा दिया, हमें ये फिगर आउट हो गया कि मार्केटिंग इज सेइंग कि नहीं भाई हमें तो अपनी पड़ी है. ठीक है, बट इसमें रिस्क क्या इन्वॉल्व था कि ऑपरेशनल फेलियर हो सकता है हड़बड़ी मचाई तो. अवॉइडिंग, हम ये कह सकते हैं एक तरह से ऑपरेशन टीम इज अवॉइडिंग इट. इट इज सेइंग कि नहीं हमें इतनी जल्दी डेडलाइन पे अपने नहीं पहुंचना है. वीड रादर फोकस ऑन द लॉजिस्टिक्स एंड मेक श्योर दैट we are able to arrange everything on time, arrange everything even though it takes a lot of time. ठीक है, and third was obliging. और इवेंचुअली ऑपरेशंस क्या कर सकता है कि ही दे जस्ट गिवन, जैसे कि चलो लॉजिस्टिक्स जाए भाड़ में, कैसे भी कर देते हैं, इनको इनका रैपिड कैंपेन लॉन्च दे देते हैं। बट अब ये 3-4 स्टाइल्स आ गए, बट हमें ये देखना है कि हमारे लिए बेस्ट क्या है। हमारे लिए बेस्ट तो वही है कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग वाला, कि ना मार्केटिंग का ज्यादा लॉस हो, ना ऑपरेशन का ज्यादा लॉस हो, सबकी बात भी मानी जाए और कुछ चीजें हम छोड़ के दोनों चीजों को अचीव कर सकें। Okay, am I being clear about this theory that I've tried to tell you? Were you able to figure out
Yes.
something? Okay, great. So with this we come to the end of our chapter. ये थोड़ा सा brief है हमारे interpersonal conflict के बारे में कि see, no single style is best. Okay, हर style हर situation में काम करेगी, and whoever is a good manager, they will use a situational approach. They will see for a fact that what scenario or what style fits better in a particular situation, right? Now, how do you choose? It all depends ki how important that issue is, what is the relationship value of between those two parties or more than two parties, time का क्या constraint है, एंड पावर डायनामिक्स कैसे चल रहे हैं, कौन हायर पोजीशन पे बैठा है पावर के और कौन लोअर पे बैठा है। तो इन फैक्टर्स को देख के ध्यान में रखते हुए हम अलग अलग स्टाइल्स यूज कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, अब मेरे पास एक केस स्टडी है जिससे हम अपनी बीडीडी थ्योरी थोड़ी सी और समझ सकते हैं। ओके, जस्ट लेट्स हैव अ गो थ्रू. And you know what? Before I do that, I just have some information to share with whoever is here, that this is your third last class, right? You will have another 2 classes, right? And since we are on chapter 3 right now, I intend to finish chapter 4, 5, and 6 probably in those 3 classes. I will try to cover the important topics that are there, and rest I will leave it up to you all to study and analyze it yourself. But if you have any issue or any query, please feel free to get in touch with me via email. I've already shared my email ID with you guys. Okay. And I will make sure that whatever the important topics are, we are able to cover it on time. ठीक है, ताकि आपको revision का और time मिल जाए. By the way, dates आपको पता चला है आपके exam dates क्या है, कब है? Any idea? किसी को कुछ भी उड़ती खबर आई है? I guess not.
मैम किसकी?
Exam dates की, ये वाला पेपर कब है या कब से आपके एग्जाम शुरू हो रहे हैं? Any idea about that?
मैम जून में होंगे।
Okay, so there is hardly a month left now. ठीक है. Okay, you know what? Just do one more thing. I don't know if you guys have received all the notes or not. I was asked by your class representative to just contact him. I don't know if you all know him. His name is Rolex. You can get in touch with him if you haven't got all the notes. Abhi till date, I'll be sharing all the 3 chapters, and probably by the end of the class, I will share the rest of the 3 chapters as well. Okay, and there will also be a revision class for you guys. Probably once we are done with all our classes, there will be a revision class. I believe it's for a longer duration than your usual classes, right? So I would really request you all to participate in that class so that we can have a quick revision and we can do more case studies pertaining to the different concepts that we have studied. Okay, I hope you guys are getting what I'm trying to say, that एक revision class जो होगी, do come for that. It will help you guys the most, right? Chalo, now we'll go back to our case study. So this case study is basically understanding our BDT framework. The title is Erosion of Trust in a High Performance Consulting Team. So what is the scenario here? What is the context here? That a leading man, guys, I would request you all to just keep a notepad or anything handy where you can write the people's name with their, designation, so that you all can remember आगे discussion के लिए. Okay. And let's not apply just one theory that we worked. Whatever comes to your mind, whatever the information that you've gathered so far in this lesson, you can try applying that as well. Okay. So here the scenario is that there is a leading management consulting firm. They are working on a project basis and they have high interdependence model. Basically, all of the members of the team are highly connected to each other. So there is this interdependence thing happening as per Can and Abigail. ठीक है अगर if you can recall that. Now here the teams are assembled for client engagements and they are very tight timelines and there's a lot of reputation at stake. So basically whatever project they're working on, that project has high stake value. High reputation stake, very high value of that, because maybe it's something to do with celebrity or whoever, whatever it is, right? So now the current team has somebody called by the name of Karan, right? He is your engagement manager, or maybe a good firm or whatever. I mean, you can, decide that example. You can extend this example further as you see fit. Okay. There is this third person who's called Shreya. She's your senior consultant, right? And she is a good performer and she is there for past 4 years. And there's your third chap, Mr. Vikram. Okay. He is a business analyst. Okay. Now let's move on and see what happens here in the scenario. So first thing is Shreya has consistently been rated as a top performer. Information हमें मिल गई, and it's majorly for the analytical depth she has, an analytical understanding she has of the projects, and the way she handles the client. So in a way, she might, because her being the senior consultant and probably being the highest, senior most, she's been given the responsibility of being the face of the clients, right? Now, there have been a few incidents. Okay. So over the last 2 months, certain patterns have emerged. First is your reliability concern. अब reliability की बात कर रहे हैं तो हम अपने CBD के basis पे जा रहे हैं. Here, Shreya commits to internal deadlines. Within the team, she says कि ठीक है, जो भी deadline है मैं अपना काम पूरा करके दे दूंगी, so that the rest of the team can take it further. So what she does is that she submits the deliverables late. उसने commit तो किया था मैं time पे दे दूंगी, but she does it late. First action she did, भरोसा तोड़ने वाला, late से दिया. Second was कि उसने ये डाल दिया कि मतलब the kind of work which she did, it was जल्दी जल्दी में किया, जैसे भी किया उसने, जो भी काम किया, the quality of work had to be rechecked before submitting it to the client. Then further what she states is that कि भाई client के side से बार बार changes आ रही थी, so I couldn't keep up with those changes and it got delayed. So this thing happened with Shreya. She was a good employee, she was a good team member. Second, what happens in this scenario is that second incident that happens is your emotional trust violation. एक और basis टूट रहा है जहाँ पे Shreya, what she does is that during an informal, any kind of meeting with the client, any interaction with the client, she tells them that there are a lot of internal disagreements. Team में bonding नहीं है. And then she further says that Vikram, who was your business analyst, she starts questioning his capability. Okay. Now, what happens is that this information reaches the client leadership. जो भी आप उनके client का head है, उस तक बात पहुंचती है, and he gets this idea that there is a lot of internal misalignment, right? And what have we known till now, that what happens when there's in misalignment? Eventually, a conflict arises, right? So this happened till now. Now let's go to the third situation that happened. So when Karan, the business analyst, he questions Shreya, she says that, she gives a very, not a very correct answer. And she also says that, no, I've never said anything about you to anybody, right? But there are again evidence, there's proof of it, which says that Shreya is wrong. And because client had said so, obviously it's understood in a way that the client will not get such ideas on his own, on her own, about the, dynamics of an internal team. So here what happened was that the Shreya not being honest led to dishonesty. तो एक और issue आ गया, एक और basis खत्म हो गया, right? आप लोग ये समझ में आ रहा है? Are you guys getting what I'm trying to tell you here? I mean, are you guys trying to understand this thing? Okay, great. So now we're moving on. Just 1 minute, sorry. So what we are saying is that the kind of behavior that they're showing and the kind of behavior that they're having, they're completely opposite, right? Internally, what is happening is that there is a lot of support towards each other. ठीक है, ये दिखाया जा रहा है कि श्रेया जो सीनियर है वो बहुत अच्छे से सबकी हेल्प कर रही है, एंड फर्दर इट इज शोइंग दैट देयर इज अ गुड कनेक्शन बिटवीन ऑल ऑफ देम. ठीक है, बट बाहर से देख के क्या पता चला, बिकॉज श्रेया डाइवर्ज सम रॉन्ग इन्फॉर्मेशन, so what happens that people can see that they are not being fully honest about their dynamics, group dynamics. So this is happening, right? Now, because of the whole situation, this critical incident that happened in 3-4 categories, because of these incidents, what happened here was the impact. What was the impact of it? Vikram, because somebody questioned Vikram, so he Vikram was your, do you guys remember what he was? Do you guys remember which position Vikram had? Anybody remembers? Anji?
Business analyst.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Somebody was listening. So what, because Shreya said something negative about Vikram, so he feels bad because Shreya was one of the good employees. So when a good employee talks bad about you, you tend to question your own self. ठीक है? So he becomes a little withdrawn and not ready to take a lot of risk. Karan, what does Karan do? Karan क्या था आपका? बताओ. What was he? मुझे भी लिखना पड़ा
Engagement
था.
manager.
Very good. So he was the engagement manager. Him being the manager, engagement manager, he starts micromanaging the deliverables. ठीक है, जो कि श्रेया को करना था. She was supposed to handle those, but because she missed the deadline, she didn't do her work correctly. So Karan had to take care of the work which Shreya had done. He had to micromanage that work. Third thing what happens is that because client has got this भनक, उसको एक भनक लग गई कि टीम के अंदर बहुत ज्यादा मिसअलाइनमेंट है, तो वो दिखाता, वो ये चीज बताता है कि आई डोंट थिंक कि बहुत सही चल रहा है आपकी टीम में, जो टीम आपने मुझे दी है, राइट? फोर्थ इज योर, जो टीम का जो माहौल है ना, उसमें एक चेंज आ जाता है. लोग पहले एक दूसरे पे भरोसा कर रहे थे, अच्छे से काम कर रहे थे, बट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस उथल पुथल, एक इंसान ने कुछ बाहर जाके इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर कर दी, तो अब लोग एक दूसरे से बहुत सीक्रेटिवली या बहुत गार्डेड तरीके से बात कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, ये हो गया इसका ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल इम्पैक्ट. एंड बाकी का हम we can either do this in the next class, or I shall send across this note, the notes along with this information, and you guys can have a read, and then we can discuss this further. अगर आपको कोई डाउट लगता है, अभी तक आपको ये सिचुएशन समझ में आया? Were you able to get a hold of the idea, मतलब how the case study was going on? Was it convincing enough for you to understand the concept?
Yes.
ठीक है. Yes, somebody wants to say something? Okay, so
No, ma'am.
हाँ जी.
It's okay, madam.
Okay, so moving on forward, what I'll do is that I'll try to share the whole chapters notes with you, जिसमें ये case study भी included होगा. I'll try adding few more case studies, and apart from that, you will also get the information for your intra-group conflict and inter-group conflict. It is not very complicated. You guys can have a read on your own. If at all any problem arises, you can let me know. We can discuss it in the next class. So I'll try to send across these notes to you before your next class starts. Probably by this week I'll do that. Have a read. केस स्टडी भी ध्यान से पढ़ लेना, बिकॉज उसमें अभी और सेगमेंट्स बचे थे. हम अभी मिडवे पहुंचे थे. देयर वर फ्यू मोर स्लाइड्स टू इट. हैव अ रीड एंड देन वी कैन डिस्कस इट लेटर. Okay, and I'm so sorry I couldn't start with the fourth chapter. We'll start with that. That's also a very interesting chapter, you know. It's just as same interesting as this one. It's about your power dynamics in a group and how that power influences in everything. So it's going to be another interesting chapter, which we'll try to cover in the next class. And whatever portion if I'm leaving out, I would just suggest that have a read on your own and have a read from the notes and we can discuss it. And also if you participate in the upcoming revision class, I think we can do better in that case. Okay, so this is it for now. Thank you so much, students, and I will take your leave.